So as you're able to relax more and more, there's less and less resistance. And you'll see that as you're relaxing more and more, you're less and less reactive, because the reactivity is the resistance.
There is definitely less reactivity.
Yeah.
Way too much less reactivity. It's more all sensations,
Mm-hmm.
mostly sensations now,
Yeah.
mostly in the body. Like when someone says something or someone does something, the the reaction is not with the story, but with the sensations.
Mm-hmm. And that's good. That's good. Like this is it's what do we want to call it here? It's like a milestone. It's significant. This shift. This is what I said is like we shift from thinking to feeling. Now the experience is that it's more feeling, less thinking, more feeling. And then
Yes.
now you can embrace this even more. That's why I said like get interested in like the body, because that's where these sensations live. So that's where whatever it is, like you said, how you said you went dancing the other day, right? It's more of this movement. And now you start seeing that there's this relaxation, it's like this loosening up, right? The more you to dance, you have to loosen up. You can't, it's like how you probably feel like there's a lot of men that can't dance and they're just uptight and rigid and it's too serious to dance. They can't dance, right? But to dance, you have to be relaxed. That's why a lot of people have to have a couple drinks in them in order to dance. That's what people say. I need a couple drinks to loosen up before I can dance. It's pointing at the same thing, that the too uptight, too
True.
rigid, too resistant. But as we start experiencing this
Yeah.
relaxation, which is more and more than it's the natural state is relaxed. The natural state is relaxation. As we start experiencing that relaxation, you feel that you're loose. You're loose. You can unwind. As you're unwinding, as you're loosening, well, these emotions are coming up and out, and you'll find that they just want to be expressed. So in this way, the movement,
Yes.
it's actually a way that you're able to. It's like a clearing, that these emotions, that's how they're coming up and out. That's how these emotions are getting expressed, is through this movement.
Yes, that's exactly what I did. I felt like dancing. I got up off my couch and I started dancing just like that.
Yeah.
There was no reason. There was no nothing. I just felt like it. I
Yeah.
really felt like it from inside. I want to dance, so I started dancing
Yeah.
without drinks. No
Yes.
drinks.
Yeah. And so you see,
So
before that, I'll take you back to it, is before that dance, were you aware of that impulse that just wants to move? And it was more of like it was non-verbal. If you can think back to I want to dance, it wasn't because you planned or strategized, it was very spontaneous, was it not?
yeah. It
Yeah.
was very spontaneous. Out
Yes.
of nowhere, I'm
Yes.
just watching a TV show, and all of a sudden, I felt like it's just something in me that I want to dance, and
Yes.
I started. Yes, it was very spontaneous, and
Yes.
I enjoyed it fully.
Good. So that's your true
Yeah.
nature. That's being aware of that spontaneous impulse is your true nature. That's what I call, sometimes I don't refer to as your true nature, it's very cliche, but a lot of people really resonate with this, is that's what I call following your heart. That your heart is speaking to you as that vibration. That's what your heart wants to do. It's just, it wants to get up and dance. But you see, when the mind comes in and suppresses the heart, it says, no, I can't dance. It's not a good time. There's no family. I don't have enough drinks in me. It's going to make all of these reasons not listen to that impulse. And this is what we
Ah,
suppress. We suppress our heart. And you see, that's when you were dancing, you were experiencing this playfulness, this relaxation, this love, this harmony, this happiness. It was just like your heart was singing and you were dancing. That's the experience.
happiness.
Yeah. So
Yes.
like this, there wasn't any resistance to that. So this is what I mean. Now you're following that impulse. You're following your heart. And as you pay attention, as you're listening to it, as you're more and more silent within yourself, you're more in tune with that impulse, that vibration, that spontaneous arising. It just comes up, and it's very it's very wild. It's very wild in the sense that it's not predictable, it's not domesticated, it's wild and free, right? I want to dance, I want to get up and dance, all right,
Free.
and it's just all right. I'm not going to get in that, I'm not going to get in the way. See, this is where it's like then it
Yes.
feels like something got out of the way. And this is really the feminine, the feminine power. This is the Shakti. It's very it's very like you can't tame it. It's wild.
Yes.
You can't. And if you try, you're going to suffer. If you try and hold back, if you try and resist it, you're going to suffer. This is why I said you have to follow your heart. Because if you don't follow your heart, this is where a lot of people suffer a lot, is because they're so disconnected. They're not listening to their heart, one. And if you can't listen to your heart, you definitely can't follow your heart. So it starts with listening to your heart. That's why I take you back to the silence. This is the silence. And then following it is following that impulse, that in every moment, if you're listening, it's gonna tell you what it won't tell you verbally, but you'll just know it intuitively. It's very intuitive. It's what I sometimes refer to as intuitive living. You'll just know what you want to do. And signs of it is what excites you the most in this moment, what you're inspired to do, what what the enthusiasm or passion. But it's just basically it's just if you could just tune into those signs, the most exciting thing to do in this moment is to dance. Right when that arose is, yeah, that was the thing that I want to that
Yes.
something within me wants to do. So like this, you just get out of the way. It's just let that happen, because that's the heart just expressing itself authentically. And that's when you feel like yourself, that you feel like this is so me. It's so natural. It's so authentic. It's so
It's
genuine.
natural. Yes.
Yeah. And you see how it's not mechanical. Like the mind is so mechanical, that's saying like, this is right, this is wrong, no, I can't dance on a Wednesday night. Like it's so rigid. It's so rigid and mechanical and artificial, whereas it's real and it's wild and spontaneous and authentic. Then you start getting the like this contrast of it. And like that, it comes up for the dancing, or oh, it's really nice, I'm going to go for a walk, or I feel like calling this person. Like this, it's just you starting to get in tune with it, and it's very flowy. And as long as you're allowing it to flow, then you're not experiencing any suffering, because the suffering is actually resisting that flow. That's what we're used to experiencing, because we're actually fighting our true nature all the time. That's our nature. That's what I said is, if you try and suppress it, you'll feel the difference, because it will feel like there's a fight within yourself. You'll feel divided.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could have suppressed it, Mitch. To be honest, it was very spontaneous. I didn't try to suppress it. I don't know why. I just wanted to. It was very Yeah, I think I could have su- suppressed it even if I would have tried it, but I didn't. I just did what I really wanted to do at that moment.
Yeah,
I just what I felt
yeah.
like doing, I just did it.
It's that thought activity.
So
Remember, I told you it's
yeah,
that thought
without giving it
activity.
a second.
That thought activity is the protection. It's the protection. It's the suppression. It's the resistance. Prior to this, the suppression was happening, but you were unconscious to it. But now you're seeing that actually, because there's more relaxation, that resistance, that suppression is not as prevalent. It's not as strong. So now there's more expression, and this is the natural state. The natural state is full expression. And like you see, this is part of the process, because a lot of these emotions, they start getting released this way because you're starting to express yourself. So it always feels like lighter and purifying, and like there's a release happening. Like after the dance, I'm sure you felt lighter.
I was going to say that. Oh, much lighter. I was going to say that it felt really good.
Yeah,
It feels lighter. I feel happy. Um, yeah, just kind of like that's what I needed to do. That's what I did, and I really enjoyed it.
yeah,
There was no story around it, or after it, or before it. No story, just something that I just, yeah. Even after that, there was no story, nothing of the sort. Oh, yeah,
yeah,
it's just something I needed to do, and I did it.
exactly.
So, and I
And like
enjoyed
this,
it.
you'll just get more and more in tune with
So,
this, and it'll feel more and more natural to you. And you'll see that this is just how you're living now. You'll get other people that say from the outside, and just kind of they'll say like, what are you doing? And because like I said, normal is not natural. They're normal and you are natural. The normal is the conditioning. The conditioning is always saying you can't dance on a Wednesday night, you can't dance without drinks, you can't dance without music, you can't dance alone. Like it's going to have all of these reasons not to do the thing that impulse wants to do. And that's how we've been living our whole life, is we've been living according to the opinions of other people.
yes, never listening to our own heart, always
Exactly.
so many restrictions, self-imposed restrictions. I
Exactly.
want to do that, but I don't want to do.
Exactly. And whatever the expression is, it's always unique, right? So like, don't look to me, don't look to your husband, don't look to other people for like how you should be, right? Because by just tuning into that silence, you are aware of your being, and then the spontaneous impulse that arises is going to determine the activity that arises. And that could look like anything. Could look like some stretching, some dancing, some knitting, going for a walk, baking, cooking, cleaning, whatever it is. You're the only one that knows. There's no right or wrong. That's where like the mind wants to, well, what's the right way and what's the wrong way, or should I or shouldn't I? And it wants to live in these boxes. But as I said, is this is when you're starting to experience this, there is no box. You're used to living in a box. This is what I say. This energy, it's wild. It can't be caged. But we've tried to cage it our entire life, and that's what just wants to break free. So this is like it wants to just be uncaged. And funny enough, this energy is pure intelligence, and it's creative. So you start seeing that actually by listening to your heart and allowing this thing to come out and play, there's more creation in your life, this creative expression. It may want you to paint or cook or dance or sing, whatever it is. It's just you find that your life is more and more creative. You find that you're more inspired because that listening to your heart, you're experiencing that inspiration. That you're not getting inspired by other people by copying them. Oh, what is she doing? What is he doing? I want to be that. I want to do that. That's what we're used to, is looking at other people and trying to copy them. No, you're listening to the source. You're listening to your heart. That's where the inspiration comes from. The inspiration comes from within. And then that inspired action is the dance or is the painting or is the cooking or is the playing, whatever it is. And you see it's so natural that actually full expression is natural. Your highest expression is effortless, just like that dance felt effortless.
Yes.
It didn't feel like you're trying to dance. And
No,
in
it
the
was
in the
very,
in the moment of the dance, it's like you feel like you lost yourself. It was like Rima disappeared in the dance. There was no Rima. There was just
yes,
dancing. There was no dancer. There was just dancing.
yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it felt.
Mm-hmm.
There was no me. There was just enjoying
Yeah.
the enjoying the dance.
Yeah.
Not me. There
Yeah,
was
exactly. And you'll just see that your life just is more and more of this. It's not something that you need to figure out or like make a goal or anything. I've given you enough of the guidance to just say listen to your heart and guided you to how to do that and what is that experience like. And then now you're experiencing, well, now following your heart. And the more you follow your heart, then you feel like you're more and more in tune with your heart. And the more in tune with your heart you are, you'll feel like there's no you in your heart. You are the heart. And you're just simply expressing yourself. Make sense?
it does. It does, Mitch.